Hello.
Hi.
She is
Biranka Biola and he is.
Olayola Abiola.
And this is Marriage Conversations. The last time we were here, we spoke about marriage and trauma and how it impacts marriage. And I think we had a very, very wonderful conversation. I remember at some point during that conversation, I was emotional when you're talking about your story.
It was a beautiful time, and we hope it blessed someone, and somebody hope it has also helped someone to make the decision to come for therapy or for counseling.
And also to help someone's marriage and relationship get better.
Yep.
You know, I think it opened our mind and understanding to the things, the reason why some things were actually happening in our marriages.
Yeah.
It's good to stay tuned every time we come around on this podcast. Just be rest assured that you will learn a lot. So please stay tuned with us as we go on in the conversations. So today, we're going to be asking different questions from different things in marriage and relationship. And I think one of the things I spotlighted that I said we're going to talk about today is, what do you believe are the key ingredients to a healthy and long-lasting marriage? Some people believe that marriage is a scam. Some people believe that, you can't enjoy marriage. And some people believe that marriage is what it is, while some believe that marriage is a sweet thing, depending on individual belief. But despite their belief or the mindset or what people think marriage is, I want us to talk about what you think are the key ingredients to a healthy marriage and to a healthy relationship.
I think this is an interesting question, and I want to also speak from my practical experiences, engagement in counseling with couples, counseling and therapeutic sessions, and I discovered that there are a lot of things. You can look at this particular question from different angles, but I want to speak directly from our own engagement with couples and a particular light bulb moment I had some time ago. By the grace of God, I have been a relationship, marriage, and family therapist and a certified professional mental health counselor. I've been privileged to engage individuals and couples at different levels and helping them to walk through the issues in their marriages. And one of the things many things that I've discovered are the things I want to share. A particular time like that, I slept, I woke up, I wanted to use the restroom, and I had this light bulb moment about like a voice just saying it to my heart, because I was bothered. I went to bed bothered about the issues I engaged with the previous day in my office, my private practice, talking to us, because I love love. I love marriage. I love to see marriages work. I love to see husband and wife being able to work at their marriages and being able to get the best out of it. So as I went to the restroom, I had this like a light bulb moment, like a voice in my heart saying, do you know that the characteristics of a living thing is also the characteristics of a living and a thriving marriage?
Wow.
And at that point, I just then I walked out from the room that night. I went to my study and I picked up my notepad and my biro. And first of all, I was characteristics of living things, the same thing as relationship and marriages that are thriving. So I wrote it down. So I remember those days in secondary school, we were told that in order to understand things and you don't forget, they put it in a rhyme. And the characteristics of living thing in those days we were told was a rhyme and acronym embedded in 8 words. Mr. Ninja D. That the M, the R, the N, the I, the G, the E, and the R, then the D. That is movement, respiration, nutrition, irritability, growth, excretion, reproduction, and death. And it was at that point the journey of researching into that began with me. And I, honestly speaking, it has also become part and parcel of the assessment that I do when I'm having a counseling session. So I do what they call the pre-counseling assessment, where people fill a particular form, a questionnaire, so to say, like a survey, to elicit information and data from my client. And I've looked carefully in my practice and I discovered that it's either you are lacking one or two or more of these 8 items that represent the characteristics of a living thing.
Yeah.
And you must understand that marriage itself is like a living organism.
True.
If you do not look at it that way, then you will not know how to give it the right ingredient, the right meal or food, or how do I put it now, factors that will make marriage. So let's take it one after the other. And if you look at it critically, Mr. Nanjadi being a characteristic of living thing, now just opposing it with being an ingredient that works, that is necessary for a relationship to thrive. Start with M. M talk about movement.
M is a movement.
Movement.
Okay.
You'll be wondering, what has that got to do with marriage? What has that got to do? But you see, in the biology that we're told that Mr. Nigeria is a character of living thing, I'm going to be explaining what each of those words stands for and how it relates to marriage. So the first one is movement. Ordinarily, movement simply means the ability of an organism to move from one point to the other in search of food or running for safety or in search of a mate. But if you look at it critically, there are some English words, even in our own local dialect, that are spelt the same way but mean two different things. So if you look at the order further examining the meaning of movement, movement is also the coming together of two or more people together to pursue a joint cause. That is, in that regard, that's when that light bulb moment dawned on me that truly, if a marriage must thrive, as an ingredient necessary is that the husband and wife must have what they call movement. That is, 2 or 3 people that believe in the same goal, they believe in the same objective. And because movement in this definition simply means two or more people that agree on similar
goals,
similar values. They have shared objectives. So I now discovered that when you see husband and wife that their marriage is doing well, look critically, they have movement.
Wow.
The 2 can't work together except they be agreed. They have something that brings them together beyond their individual lives. They know they have individual lives, but they also understand the place of having joint understanding. They have similar value system. They have shared goals. They have shared objectives, and that makes a lot of sense. Because most of the time in counseling practice, you sit down, you're listening to husband and wife, discover that they have divergent views, different perspective about life, different value system. Their purpose does not have a place of alignment. So if you have movement, it simply means that there's a purpose, there's a core that bring your lives together, that you both respect and see as very vital and important. So for us, for example, there was a point in our life, very early in our life, that we discovered that helping people, especially in ministry work, was a core for us. Beyond the fact that we studied, we are graduate and things like that, we have personal things that we believe in. But there's a particular thing that has brought us together, for example, that has even led to what we are doing today. So most of the time when you want to look at couples whose life represent or who are basking in the right ingredient for their relationship, they have shared values. They have purpose. They have a core that bring them together that is so strong. Is beyond the emotional feeling they have for each other. They have a sense of ownership for that thing. To some people, it's business. To some people, it's philanthropy. To some people, it's helping the less privileged. Maybe setting up an orphanage. To some people, it's entertainment. And you see them there. I'm not saying they both do the same thing, but they both believe in a cause. If the husband is going this direction, the wife believes in what the man is doing. If the woman is going to do something, they both believe in each other's dreams and they have a core objective. They have similar value system, shared values, shared objective, and that makes a lot of sense.
Beautiful.
And the other ingredient from this same acronym of Mr. Najadi is HAR. HAR talks about respiration. Respiration. In biology, I'm
wondering how that relates
to marriage. In biology, respiration as a characteristic of a living thing simply means the ability of an organism to exchange gases with the environment. So the animal, I guess, give out oxygen. Or is it animal or the plant? I know that it's human being.
We give out carbon dioxide.
We give out carbon dioxide as human being. We take in oxygen. I think plant gives out oxygen and taking carbon dioxide. So ability for an organism to exchange gases. So if you look at that as an ingredient for a marital bliss, for a marriage that is doing well, that is healthy, simply means marriage that is two-way. It's not a one-sided event. Ability to give and take.
Give and take.
Most of the time, you see a relationship where the man or the woman is the only one giving,
Yeah.
and the other party is not doing anything.
Yes.
Because any relationship where it's lopsided, it's one-sided, that one party is ready to give it all it takes,
Yeah.
and the other party is not ready to do anything, it will not work. It's a matter of time. So, a healthy relationship is a relationship where there's respiration, there's an exchange of gases. Now, let's go biological. Do you know that the way we are talking now, we are breathing, we have two nostrils, Abby?
Yes.
But science have discovered that, showed us to us as a discovery.
Yes.
I discovered it during my research and investigation to this matter, that we only breathe 75% of the time with one nostril. You are not breathing with the two
At the same
time. We call it the nasal circle. The nasal circle simply means you are breathing through one part of your nose, and at a particular time, it switches to the other. It's like a 75%, 25% thing without you knowing. And when that happens, it's like we know when to shift for each other, when to let go for each other, adjust for each other. That is, each party is bringing something to the table. So this talk about a mutuality. It's not a parasitic relationship. These days and time, marriage has become transactional. But in a healthy relationship, both parties are bringing something to the table to the well-being or for the well-being of that relationship, and they both know when to shift. To yield the floor for each other. I am allowed to breathe. Let me breathe. I can't breathe. Remember that it was a terrible, horrific situation, but we can use that to explain this. It's a relationship where you are allowed to breathe. Where you are allowed to be yourself. That's another idea about respiration. You are allowed to even though we are joined together to have become one, but I also have this sense of independence where my partner is not afraid of me becoming the best version of myself. As a matter of fact, you are a nurturer, you are an enabler in a positive sense to me becoming to what I want to become, what I desire to become. And I'm also doing that to my partner, So that's what respiration is all about. And the end talk about nutrition.
Yes.
Biology says that nutrition is the ability of organism to feed, to get the necessary requirements, ingredient, meal, and whatever for survival. Because no living being will survive without nutrition, without the appropriate nutrition in the appropriate nutrients.
Yes.
So if you look at that, just opposing that with marriage as an ingredient of a lasting and a thriving relationship, it's a situation where there is feeding. Each partner is feeding the other. They are feeding each other well. Psychologically, emotionally, sexually. There's feeding, there's balanced diet. That is, there's emotional safety, psychological safety. I'm free to hear my opinion, my emotional need. No one can meet your needs 100%.
Sure.
But to a very large extent, you are in a relationship where the other party understand that you are a man or woman with needs. You have emotional needs, psychological need, financial need, material need. Giving your partner validation, affirmation, reassurances, feeding their emotional bank. That's what we call EBA, emotional bank account, EBA, where you feed, deliberately and intentionally feed. One of the things we've seen in counseling and therapy that most of the time when men have been able to get married to their wives, they just move on to the next project. And they don't get to feed the emotional need of their wife, the affection need of their wives anymore. I've seen a lot of men also complaining that they are in a sexless marriage. They are not sexually fed. They are not happy with the sexual realities of their relationship. The woman is not coming to the table to feed her husband sexually. So this thing goes both ways. So nutrition simply talks about feeding each other. And that is a very, very important thing that we need to talk about before we move on. You want to say something?
Well, I mean, it looked impossible. Like, how does Mr. Naijadi relate to marriage? But, as you kept explaining it and relating it, it just dawned on me that that's it, actually. I mean, that's what Mr. Naijadi is what gives life. That acronym is actually what gives life.
What attests that something is alive.
Something is alive,
Those are the realities of something that is alive.
I'm telling you. And I mean, that's amazing. That's amazing. I want us to run through
the remaining ones.
The remaining acronyms quickly. And
I think the next one is high. I talk about irritability. Irritability in biology simply says the ability of an organism to respond to stimuli. That is, you act on the environment act on you. And that goes a long way when it comes to relationship also that is thriving or that will stand the test of time. Because whether you like it or not, you don't get married or you're not in a romantic relationship or marital relationship in isolation. The environment will impact on your relationship and you also impact on the environment. Now, how you deal with third parties, friends, family and friends, their influence.
That's the external.
A man shall leave his father and mother and shall be cleaved to his wife and they shall become one flesh.
Yeah.
So when we talk about irritability, the ability of the organism to respond to stimuli and in an appropriate sense, when you bring that into marriage, it simply means the environment will act on your relationship. There will be influences here and there.
The impact of the environment and how we respond
to it. And number two, you will have conflict, ability to manage conflict appropriately. Because whether you like it or not, conflicts are inevitable. And they are due to two major reasons that carries other reasons. Number one, our differences.
Wow.
Differences in our background, differences in our ideology, differences in our gender, differences in our personalities and our temperaments.
Yeah.
You know, then the other second reason why we have conflict is unmet needs and expectations. So we all have needs and expectations that we bring into marriage. True. So when those needs are not met, when those expectations are not met, it brings about conflict. So conflicts are inevitable. In a relationship, and that's where irritability comes in. Your ability to manage conflict, your ability to manage the environment, how it impacts on your relationship, and your ability to do that to a very large extent will impact on the success of that relationship. So it's a key ingredient. Because from my own therapeutic practice and engagement, one of the things I've seen is the fact that many relationships are having issues not just because of the man and the woman, but because of third parties, influences from their parents, from their families, from their friends, and these things, inability to manage it. Then impact on the relationship greatly. And after high, we have what we call G. Right? Growth. That's growth. For me, this is one of the most important ingredient to having a successful marriage. Growth in biology, as we relate to Mr. Menjadi, simply means the ability of an organism, anything that is alluded or is agreed to be a living being, must grow. And it simply means the ability of that thing to increase in size, in width. You know,
I like the fact that there is a word that, makes it valid. There is a must grow. So if it's not growing, then there's a problem.
Because anything that is alive grows. Because what makes growth happen is that there's a metabolic reality taking place. The taking in of nutrients that we talked about, the efficient use and effective use of that nutrient to produce a change in size, in height, and in width of that organism. For example, pick up a plant. A plant, you can't say it's a living being when it's not growing.
Sure.
When it grows to a certain level, it produces fruit.
Yes.
You know, if you look at an animal, it grows. You buy a puppy, a little dog, it becomes big over time, and even now begin to reproduce. We'll get to that. But let's look at it, how it relates to marriage. You can't have a healthy marriage if you're not growing. The reason is this: we are all coming from diverse backgrounds.
Yes.
There's a level you have attained before you came into marriage.
True.
And we talk about trauma the other time. If I didn't grow in the light of the trauma issue I discussed in the last episode, I probably won't be doing what we are doing.
I agree.
Probably won't be doing what you're doing.
I agree.
Because marriage itself comes with its own challenges, comes with its own demands.
Yes.
That is why until you stop growing, that's why at times you stop growing in terms of height, but you must not stop growing in your mind.
Yes.
You know, you must not stop growing in your spiritual life. You must not stop growing in your finances, in your career. So growth simply means ability of the man and the woman to recognize where they are and the kind of person they need to become. When we started having children, I discovered that the kind of man I was when we had no child was not the kind of man I became when we had our first child. When we had our second child, had to grow. Now, when we had our third child, I happened to be a male. We've had together. And that's that what it takes to parent a boy is different to what it takes to parent a girl.
True.
And even to now talk about that 3 children, different temperament and personalities. You now discover that there's a need for you to grow in wisdom, in knowledge, in understanding, to parent them. There's a uniqueness of a boy child and of a girl child. So you must keep growing.
And there's a uniqueness that the 3 of them have individually.
Now, even to be a husband to a woman, there's the kind of man I was before we got married.
Sure.
That was not good enough to remain. It was good to be married, but it was not good enough to remain be married. For For example, my emotional deregulation due to my trauma.
Yeah.
But there came a point in my life that I came to an awareness, no, I can't continue like this. I need to improve. We call it, how do I put it now? Is it not innovation? There's another word we call growth. Oh, my spirit. I hope I can remember another word for growth. Evolution.
Yeah.
That's it. Evolution. Yeah. Growth, that you must keep growing.
Yeah.
Your finances, you have to grow.
Sure.
Because to take care of 3 children is different from taking care of 1 child. So G simply means growth. So when I sit with couple at times in therapeutic session, and when I'm listening to them, I'm seeing that a situation where the woman had grown, or she's growing, the man has refused to grow. Or the man is growing, the woman has refused to grow. Most of the time people say a lot of women respect their spiritual leaders more than they respect their husband, because a woman wants to be led, especially a married woman.
Yes.
You are the man in a marital context, you are supposed to provide leadership.
Yes.
So you see a situation where the women are becoming more spiritual, they are becoming more engaging in their spiritual walk, in their personal walk with God.
Yes.
And here come the man, even though they were both not spiritually
from the beginning,
they didn't take their spiritual life serious.
Yeah.
But as life happens, you must start looking for opportunities to get closer to God, discover purpose. I want to fulfill our destiny. And here's the man that is still the way he was. Now she's now going to a church, and there's somebody as a pastor there that is meeting that spiritual need that the man's supposed to bring to the table. So she begins to gravitate towards that person. Even though a lot of times people have abused that kind of relationship as well. But what I'm trying to point out is that there is need for you to grow as a man.
I'm so tempted to ask questions.
If your marriage must thrive.
On this growth, because we see it every day.
Yep.
And I think that's what brings the gap between a man and a woman. Because, someone is really working at getting better.
Yeah, career-wise.
Pushing with
emotionally,
life,
mentally, financial wise.
You understand, learning, unlearning, relearning, but you realize that the other party is just, how do you deal with that?
And that's why we are doing this kind of.
How do you even deal with
this kind of podcast?
I can imagine
to put information out there.
How much it can impact the other person. And I'm also thinking of how much it would impact the intimacy between them.
Definitely.
Of how much the gap will grow and all of that.
Definitely. Wow. For example, in a situation where the woman is the only one carrying the financial burden of the home, she has gone back to school to do a master's, maybe second master's or certification programs.
Yes.
She has improved her CV.
Yes.
She's having opportunities and she's growing her career path. Definitely to impact on our finances.
Yeah.
And here's the man that is not doing much.
Yeah.
I understand that sometimes that the man is trying, but that is a different case. At least you can see the effort that is put in. And we know we all come from different backgrounds.
Definitely.
We have different diverse opportunities.
Definitely.
But if you don't have opportunities, you create one for yourself. And that is why growth and evolution is critical.
True.
You must make up your mind that I need to grow.
Yeah.
In my mind, in my soul, in my finances, my career. What do I need to do? What kind of person do I need to become as a man and as a woman? I've also had a situation where even in their sexual life, seeing maybe the man is an experienced person when it comes to sexual matters. The woman probably was not that experienced, but now you are married and the man is complaining. You need to grow. Go read books. If there's need to, you go see a sex therapist or to come see a counselor like myself. That's what we do at Love Boulevard International. It's a counseling and therapy outfit. Somebody to help you, guide you. Okay, look, these are the things. We've seen a situation also that is the woman that she's more driven as far as sexual life is concerned. But the man just said, look, all I know is missionary and that's all. And the woman said, look, let's add spice to our marriage. Let's bring some new innovation, creativity to our relationship. And the man is not ready to take it. I don't want to hear anything. Just give me my food, may I chop, may I sleep. What I'm trying to say is that growth is critical. It's all encompassing. It impacts all areas, all area of our lives. And if we must have a thriving and a glorious marriage, a healthy marriage, we must grow. For example, in the area of character, maybe there's a way you used to behave. There's a lot of learning, unlearning, and relearning that must be done. And all these allude to growth.
True. Wow. I mean, this is so profound for me. Because when we talk about the healthy marriage, I know that a lot of us, especially a lot of us in marriage, we don't think so extensively like you've explained to us. And I think it's important. I really don't know how this message can be passed across to more people, so people understand. And I realize that, by the time we begin to explain each of the characteristics to married people, and even people in relationships, even before they get married, they realize that one thing is missing.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I said
one thing will always be missing.
in my therapeutic engagement with couple, since I had that light bulb moment and this revelation about Mr. Nanjadi, just opposing it with, as ingredient necessary for marital bliss and marital flourishing, I discovered that when I sit with people, after I've done all the pre-counseling assessment, the documentation and I look at it critically, the problem here is growth. This woman is forward-looking, she's ambitious, she's trying to make something for herself, but the man is not forthcoming, or probably nutrition. They're not feeding well. They're not meeting each other's emotional need. Or want to talk about respiration. It's a one-sided affair. Or you want to talk about movement, where they don't seem to have
the same goals. The same
they don't have
core
shared
values.
Their core values are not. They don't have the same core values. They don't have the same value system or belief system. So you just say it, and it plays out in different areas.
I think one thing I also realize is that at one point or the other, in different seasons of our relationship and marriage, if we're able to keep this acronym at heart, we realize that you're able to know one that is missing.
As a template.
Yes, as a template. So you're able to know.
Board.
So when there's an issue, you know that
where
you just go there and you're able to say, oh, this is what the issue is. And you know how to make amends.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. What's the next thing after grade? I think it's
after excretion.
Mr. Nanjadi.
Yes. G after G is E. Excretion. You'll be wondering.
And you see what I just remembered now. I really hope that the Gen Zs know what Mr. Nanjadi is. I don't know if they still
honestly, there was a place I went to speak. And I was asking questions around the crisis of living thing, and I was surprised they don't know.
They don't know.
Education has evolved. And I think that the place I saw Mr. Nanjadi card, other things have been added. At least, but I'm talking about my own light bulb movement. But even if you say it's not for living thing, but it's an acronym for ingredient that will make your marriage work.
Simple.
It's simple. So even if you don't understand biology, but now that's why I'm explaining the biology aspect of it to relate it
and how it relates to marriage.
The most important thing is to just pick the underlying principles.
That's it.
So that you can get the benefit out of it. I think the next one is
excretion.
Excretion. We're wondering what has excretion got to do with
marriage.
With marriage. You know, that night I was just laughing, and what brought the light bulb moment was because I went straight to research into Mr. Nanjadi. So when I got to excretion, I discovered that for an organism to be considered a living being or alive, is that it has a capacity not only to feed, nutrition, but also has capacity
to pass out
to excrete
what is not necessary.
That's why you see even non-living things that we now use as gadgets. You see that most of the time scientists have picked the nature and the characteristics of living things to do them. For example, I talked about respiration the other time. All this generating system that brings light immediately, light goes out without you even knowing. In the blink of an eye, I discovered it was taken from the nasal circle. The respiration that takes place with one side of your nose that switches to the other without you knowing, without you panting for breath. One has stopped, the other has not picked up. So people that did generator, this engineering thing, studied it, and that's why you switch over to another generator set to another one without light blinking. So also when it comes to excretion in biology simply means a living organism has the capacity to release waste material. That is, it undergoes metabolic process and what releases the unnecessary thing and as waste and excrete it back back into the environment. Now you'll be wondering how does this relate to marriage? You now discover that there is every need for us to know that as husband and wife, there will be toxic relationship in and around you. We talked about irritability the other time. So this is simply the ability to release toxicity. You see a lot of marriages are having problems because the woman is full of drama. Or the man is full of drama. And they just bring what does not make sense. Any little thing they are ready to. They take in nutrition. They take in from the environment. They take from social media.
They take from different places.
They take from different sources. They don't know the good, the bad, and the ugly. They don't know how to sieve. How to take the fish and leave the bone. Not everything you listen to. For example, if all you've been listening to on social media is a man has come, marriage is bad, people are divorcing. What happens is that will become your reality.
And it to create a mindset.
Because everything in life is created twice. So what you take in creates your inner reality that later produces your external world and your external reality. So excretion here simply means ability to sieve everything that comes into your marriage. There are some things that are toxic. For example, maybe somebody a gossip, your husband is doing this and that. You don't take it and you go back home, or you see other couple. The grass is always greener at the other side.
Yeah.
And you take that, you see other people showing their best part on social media. Then you get back home and tell your husband, see men, those are husbands, those are wives. See how that one is doing. But you don't know that if the grass is greener, it's because somebody is wetting the grass. Sure. So excretion simply means ability to know how to separate what is real and what is not real. Ability to let go and let God. There are sometimes that things are not going well between you and your husband.
Yeah.
You must know when to let go of unforgiveness.
Yeah.
Excrete all those negative vibes. You must know how to. Excretion simply talking about separation. Ability to separate from things that are not working.
Yeah.
Things that are counterproductive.
Yeah.
Is it a character trait?
Yeah.
Is it an action that you've been doing? Is it a thing your husband has been complaining? Is it where you do things that your wife has been complaining? You must learn how to separate those things from your relationship. Or things that have happened in the past, maybe an issue that happened in the past. You must learn how to separate it and face the issue here and now. Because most of the time you see people holding on to the past issues, those toxic materials that eventually create turning belly, the thing with the turn belly. And at the end of the day, the people are struggling. Not necessarily because I've had situations, honestly, relations that don't have excretion, and they are coming back for counseling session. I say, okay, what exactly is happening? And after listening to them, I discovered that
it's the same thing.
There's exactly nothing new.
It's the same
nothing
thing.
Has happened. It's just that one or both of them have refused to let go of those issues of the past, and they are still holding on to it. And when that happens, it polarizes the atmosphere in the home, and at the end of the day, the marriage.
I think it's okay to also say here at this point that, you see, what works for another relationship might not work for what works for couple A. Let me use it like that. Might not work for couple B.
Yep.
I mean, our relationship and our marriages are unique and they are different.
Yep.
That's why you can't pick, because it's working for couple A, you can't bring it into your marriage. You know?
Yep.
Or else it becomes toxic.
And that's why I talked about excretion.
Yes.
You must know how to separate things. Things.
So you must know what works for you. Yeah. You must know what works
delete
for you.
What does not
and
work.
delete what does not work
Yep.
for you. Yeah.
Yep.
Wow, that is so good. So good.
Well, which other
that is
lesson
so good. We've done excretion.
Now, R talk about reproduction. In biology, Mr. Najadi, reproduction means ability of an organism or anything that is seen as a living being to reproduce, to give birth to offspring and things like that. Now, everything that is living we produce after its kind. So reproduction simply means, even though, if you bring that literally, it's maybe having children. But we've seen couples that are fantastic that they didn't have their own biological children.
True.
Having children is good, and we pray that happens for as many that so desire. People have secondary barrenness, people have primary barrenness, but whatever area, we pray that God answer your prayers and give you children. But when it comes to thriving relationships, it's beyond just having children. Fine, having children is good, but it's also talk about legacy. Are you getting me? It's not just enough to have children, but to have legacy. What are you living for? What will your marriage be remembered for? And that is tied to movement that I talked about the other time. You have core objective, you have similar goals and passion, you have purpose. Your marriage stands for something. If I mention the Clintons, you remember political power, politics. If I mention someone like Bishop David Oyedepo and his wife, you remember something comes to your mind, ministry. You remember Sam Adeyemi, you remember ministry. If I call Tokpe Alabi and Soji Alabi, you remember music. There is something, they are couples, but there's something their life represents. That without minding what you just say it. So reproduction in marriage talks about legacy, talks about what our life is all about. Because after all said and done, after the children we've given back to go and we have empty nest, what legacy are you going to have? So I've seen situations where people come for counseling session truly, and I see that one is legacy minded, the other is not. And she's saying, look, we need to do this. This is what I want to do. But the other party is not just saying it. I bet we eat, make we drink, maybe build house, maybe give children, we give ourselves belly, and that's all. Your marriage of people that are doing well is sign, because all will culminate to this.
Sure.
The sign that you have movement, purpose,
Sure.
you have respiration, have the ability to fly.
Sure.
Recently, we were at a friend's book launch. Tosin Sonny, a fantastic woman doing beautiful thing. Her husband was there. We saw the beautiful thing her life has produced.
Yeah.
Are you getting me now? You can be proud of that. You've seen many people doing beautiful things for themselves.
Yeah.
And now that is a manifestation of a relationship that is healthy. Because eventually it will produce something beyond producing physical or biological children. There are ideas, vision that your marriage will bear.
Sure.
Because you as an individual, your life is a representation of a divine agenda. So when you come into marriage, it's supposed to produce the right enabling environment to thrive and to nurture that idea to like a baby.
Yeah.
Are you getting me now?
Yes.
To the glory of God, we have Love Boulevard. We have FBI Consulting Services. We are into mental health. We are into marriage and family life.
Yes.
It's our legacy.
Sure.
And much more other things we are doing. So a thriving marriage is a marriage where the man and the woman are doing fine. They have their differences. They have irritability. They know how to deal with their conflict management. The excretion. They know how to separate negative vibes and toxicity. Things that can derail their plan. They have reproduction in the sense that there's a legacy.
Yeah.
Their life is a worthy example
Of something.
People look at them and say, look, your marriage is worthy of emulating.
Yeah.
And that's one of the signs that this marriage is a thriving one, is a living one.
Nice. Let's talk about the last one.
Yeah, Mr. Nanja D talks about death.
Nobody wants to hear that.
Who won't die? Who won't die? But on a more serious note, it's so profound, honestly, when I saw this. Because in biology, death simply means that anything that is living will eventually have what they call cessation of life. Will eventually die. That is, eventually none of us shall die. We shall all die someday.
So how does this relate?
Relates to marriage.
Yeah.
This will blow your mind. I've come to realize that a marriage that will thrive and that will flourish is a marriage of two dead people.
Okay.
They'll be wondering, how does that relate?
That's why I said, okay.
Now, in marriage, it simply means they are dead to self.
Dead to self.
That's what I'm alluding to.
Dead to self.
What we have today, and as expressed most of the time when I see in counseling sessions, that we have too many selfish people in marriage. Marriage will not do well if you have two selfish or one selfish person. Someone that is all about me, myself, and I. Marriage is a teamwork. The dream work when there's a teamwork. Are you getting me now?
Yes.
The dream works when there's a teamwork. Now, if you are going to be married, if your marriage is going to thrive, you must have a team-mindedness. You must be team-minded. You must have an understanding that, look, it's not about you. It's about your partner. And if the partner have that understanding, it's not about me. It's about my partner. Come from both sides. I talked about the other time that it's not parasitic, it's respiratory. It has respiration. It's both of us. Then most importantly, you are dead to self. You see people say, hey, he didn't do this for me. He didn't do this for me. Nobody can, even though we talk about meeting each other's needs.
Yeah.
But with life experiences, with therapeutic engagement with people, as a human being, no human being can meet another human being's need 100%.
True.
So you must be dead to self.
Yeah.
We have too many self-centered, too selfish people. It's about me, what you're not doing, what you're not doing, what you're not doing. The question is, what are you two not doing? Or what are you doing? What are you contributing to me? And that also goes into place of conflict, offense. Because whether you like it or not, in marriage, there are two things you must keep doing. Must keep forgiving and giving. Forgiving and giving. You are going to, if your marriage is going to start steps of time, because there will always be and giving. You give your time, you give your resources, you give your body, you give your talent, you give your everything, your commitment. Marriage is also spelled commitment. You know, and that's where deadness to self come to play.
So I wanted to ask this particular, because I know there's a lot of talk around self-love and all of that, you know. How does this come into play with this last acronym of keeping a healthy marriage? Now,
when we talk about marriage is about two healthy people.
Yes.
You must have personal wholeness before you, because what you don't have, you can't give.
Yes.
And even if you want to go spiritual, say love your neighbor as yourself. So if you don't love yourself, you have nothing to give, so to say. Now, so when it comes to marriage, even in therapy, there's what we call self-love, self-compassion, self-care. Because it's the healthy you that is needed for that marriage to thrive. Are you getting me now? So if I truly love you, I should love myself.
It's the healthy me that is needed. Oh, wow. This is sick. Please, can you take that again?
I can't even remember what I said, but I know it's the healthy you that is needed for an effective marriage, for a great marriage, because who you are is what you bring to the table.
Yeah.
If I'm not healthy, so if I'm taking care of myself, it only shows that I truly love my husband. So, for example, if it's husband and wife fighting about not body shaming now, this is different. Okay, you need to lose weight or you need to exercise for the man. And if you're not, leave me alone, I love myself, I like myself the way I be, I get love. But if you really love yourself, you want to be healthy. You want to eat healthy. You want to live healthy. It's then you can bring your best to the table for your man. So when we talk about death in marriage, it's addressing another dimension. You see, marriage is a very simple and yet complicated thing. So it's like, let me put this to you so that you can understand what I'm saying. In primary school, when we say 1 + 1 is 2, 2 - 1 is 1, and when you say 1 - 2, what would you say? You say it's impossible because of the elementary level. But as soon as you get to secondary school, that same 1 - 2 now becomes -1 because it's another dimension.
Sure.
So what we are saying about death here, this is talking about a negative self-concept. Where it's all about me, myself, and I.
Okay.
When you are not ready to be committed to the goal of that marriage, to the aspiration of that marriage, you are so selfish. I once heard something, one of broadcast something online, when the lady was saying that, look, once a man does not have money, her husband does not have money, she's not ready to stay, she leaves that marriage. It's about herself because she needs to be taken care of. You can't marry a man that doesn't have money that can't take care of her financially. If you listen to people talking that way, you know that there's no deadness to self. For example, maybe for one reason or the other, the man can't meet your sexual need, maybe due to a health condition.
Yes.
If you're not dead to self, during that period you want to go out and do what you're not supposed to do. If a man feels that my wife is not satisfying me, if you do not have deadness to self, you're basically going to go out and do what is not right. Are you getting me now? So what I'm trying to say about deadness to self simply means that, look, you need to understand that life does not revolve around you alone.
Sure.
There's a place of denial, sacrificial living.
Yes.
Even though there's a place of taking care of yourself as well.
Yes.
So there
must be a balance.
There must be a balance.
Yes.
You can't say self-care at the expense or at the detriment of your partner.
Yes.
I cannot say you love yourself and live any way you like.
Yes.
And if anything happens to you, your partner is going to be the first beneficiary of your negative incident. If somebody is not living right, is drinking, doing all sorts of risky behavior, at the end of the day, if he dies, it's the partner that becomes a widow or widower. Are you getting me now? So if you truly love your partner, you want to stay away from negative things that will not impact your life, that will not add value to your life and to your relationship.
Wow. I feel like giving you a round of applause. I mean, this is so beautiful. This is so beautiful. Before we go, I want to ask just one more question. Just one more. I'm not Oliver Twist, but just one more. How do couples navigate differences in communication style or love languages? How
communication, love language.
Let's leave communication. Let's just talk about the love languages.
Okay.
How do couples navigate their differences? For example, I like gift. You like something else. Physical touch.
Word of affirmation.
I really don't like. I'm not a gift
I'm talking about myself.
Anyway, I'm just saying.
Art
Just
of service,
it's like an
quality
example.
time. Those were your own two.
Yes. So, how do we communicate? Yes, with each other using this love languages?
No, it's been said over and over again, and I want to reiterate it using this episode to let people know that love alone is not enough. And one of the things that keeps a marriage, one major thing is knowledge, what you know, and the wisdom, which is the application of what you know.
Yeah.
To a very large extent, using our own life as an example, when we got married, because I love words of affirmation, being the only surviving child from my mom. The other brother of mine died very early, and my mom eventually suffered a lot of miscarriages. Because I became the surviving child, the only child of my mom, at least with my dad. Even though I have a stepsister, So my mom used to carry me a lot, hold me a lot, talk to me, and because of the trauma I experienced as a child, in my right eye injury that we talked about in the first episode, I became conditioned to words of affirmation. Words nurture me
to touch
and to physical touch. So when I got married, that was how I know how to love, and I tried doing that with you. Whereas by your own conditioning and your own, you're not a touch
I was
person.
not anyway.
But now,
I think I'm
much better now. But what has helped is knowledge.
Yeah.
I remember that particular day you were doing something, doing house chores, and you newly got married and you were crying. And I said, babe, why are you crying? Remember that all the things you suffered while growing up, living from one uncle to one brother to the other. And I said, really? Then leave it, I'll do it with you. And I discovered that since that very day that I started supporting with house chores and things like that, because we learn these things as we journey. I was not a therapist then anyway. So
just your good heart.
Yeah, but my good heart. So I discovered that providing that act of service and quality time, which you now later discover to be your own love language. Mine was a word of affirmation and physical touch. And what happened was that I was loving you the way I know how to love, but it was not reaching you until that moment when I now start helping more with house chores and things like that. Then you now discover that, okay, this guy loves physical touch. Now at times I'm driving and you're putting your hand around my neck, touching my head. Before, you don't know how to do that. Even when I'm trying to be mischievous in the car, trying to touch your laps, I'll be looking for the gear. Where's the gear? It's as if you want to jump out of the car. But it is what it is now. So it's all about knowledge. It's all about understanding. And that's why at Love Boulevard International, when people come for counseling, either for premarital counseling or postmarital counseling, the first thing we try to do is to do what they call pre-counseling assessment. And one of the assessment tests that we do is love language, where we help people to ascertain the love languages of these two individuals, and so that we can now let them know during the joint session, this is the way your wife loves to be loved, this is the way your husband loves to be loved. Most of the time, I discover that the men will score high on physical touch, and on the wife's side, the wife is scoring the lowest on physical touch. And that's one major reason why they're having issues in their marriage.
Wow.
So when you bring that information to the table and they now understand each other, you can now know how to exchange that love language.
So I think is from what you've said now, it's okay to say that we love. It's okay we say that communication will get better when we love each other from each other's love language, not from
to first of all
your own.
Aware.
Yes, not from your own. So you must understand your spouse's love language.
Yes, and love them
from the way they want to be loved from their love language. Wow. That is so good. That's so good. And I think
it's been another wonderful episode.
Yeah. It's okay to bring this episode to a wrap. We've learned a lot. I mean, from Mr. Niger D to talking about the love languages. It's beautiful. I'd like you to please listen to the podcast over and over again and create your template, your own template, your unique template for your relationship, for your marriage from this. Yeah. And I'm sure when you keep paying attention and there's self-awareness with what's going on with you, what's going on between you
and your partner,
your partner or your spouse, things begins to get better. Thank you so much for listening once again. Please stay tuned and don't go anywhere.
Remember to follow. Is it follow now? Or to subscribe, share, and subscribe. Okay.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.